Right, welcome to the HICCS 9 box introduction video. So we are talking about the 9 box tool, which is targeted at HR really. It's a personal development kind of tool where we look at the leadership and performance of the workforce. It's widely used in larger organizations. But I do sometimes think that it's a good snapshot even for medium-sized enterprises. And now the principle is quite simple. You know, as I said, it focuses on leadership and performance. A little bit about the background. We have been providing the 9 box principle to our clients for a good 3-4 years in terms of a Excel-based solution. So we are quite familiar with the principle, and we have our own focus. Not everybody looks at the leadership or performance. Some people actually prefer to change the categories that are being measured, but this is what we strongly believe is the important setup for using the 9 box principle in managing the workforce potential. So that's that's in terms of the background. So we built an Excel version of it and have been using it quite successfully. However, times change and we want to progress with the times. So our programming team has now developed the mobile version of this, the web application, and which is now a much more dynamic tool for us, I feel, because we can actually bring together, a virtually accessible solution, and that I think, sometimes some things in the web are better than they are in Excel. And I think when it comes to this kind of simple data, it's really nice to have it accessible wherever you go, really. So let me just do you then a quick demo about how it works. It's really simple, and but it's extremely powerful. So I think that's the great thing about the 9 box, is that when you use it well, you can actually find a method of mapping the potential of your organization against you could say like the business plan or the DNA that you're looking for. You could actually match how you are progressing on that, especially if you bring in things like grades and stuff like that, and start to be very accurate in how you track your 9 box picture in terms of the wider enterprise. So the 9 boxes are here, measured here on the left, I think one of the things that is really good about it is that we just going with some fairly standard definitions: low, medium, high on leadership and performance. Nothing difficult to understand about that, and that gives us this grid of 9 boxes. You can see definitions for each of the grids. So here on the bottom, you can see what the LL stands for. So in this case, it is low performing, low potential employees. Individuals need to be assessed and addressed quickly to ensure they are not bottleneck to the organizational success. Doesn't mean that necessarily people can move out of this box as well, but it kind of triggers a concern that they're not engaging, or maybe their capability isn't high enough to be in that particular role. So remember, this is about roles and the larger structures of a business. This is not necessarily only about looking at a single team and saying people need to be removed. People may need to be moved into the type of team that fits them, and that's a really important point to understand. I think the other thing about the tool is that when you start measuring people. You should always have a definition to why you're using it. So, do you use the 9 box as a method of understanding how what kind of dynamics your workforce has, or do you use it as a tool to make decisions about who should be in what position? These are different kind of methodologies, or do you use both equally? You should kind of always decide what is the strategy with any solution like this. But yeah, so you get then the definitions. They obviously pop in the in this field here, and you can see what each of them mean. Right. The quick thing I'll say about this, if you have, for instance, people in the low, we tend to say that particularly if you are at 5% or more in low of the whole the complete team, then that's quite a high concern, and so we shouldn't really have a lot of people in this box, because it's quite risky. Or we should help people transition out of this box. The other one are these 3 here on the top. If we have too many people in these, it means that it's likely that we're not allowing our potential future talent to progress, and that will always hinder the performance of a team in the long run. So the longer you keep too many people here, the bigger your concern. So that's just a few useful hints to consider. Right. So how does it work then? Well, you can see there are some categories here. I'll actually just do this. So we've got some names, and I'll type now a new name into here. Let's do AID006, and well, let's do builder site 2 then. You can then choose the box where people belong from the drop down and assign it. So if I place L3P2, it means that it highlights in the box here, and or if I do L2P2, it highlights the box that I've selected. I can then save this line into my essentially organization chart for this particular team. This can be a wider thing if you want as well, because you can assign units. So that's another useful little feature to have. But generally, we tend to use this 9 box on a unit level, sometimes on a team level. I think that's the most useful sort of categorization. Right. So what do we do then? Okay. So now we have this. Well, the next feature that we have in the tool is that we can actually look at who's in what box, and this is really important. So low, no one. Low, medium, no. Low, high. Okay. Well, we have 2 people in here. Well, as you can see, then it gives you a direct trigger of the percentage. This is important because we are looking for, you can define for yourselves what percentages you are looking for. Like, so I would like these boxes here to be half of the workforce. So this gives you indications of how many people do you have in each of the things. And that helps in the management. And again, so we can then look at these different things and follow up our so to say dynamics of the team. Now, when you actually select or review one area, you may then say, oh, okay, yeah, Nicholas in the hi, okay, we should then go back, click to expand. I don't think Nicholas is in that thing, and then you can use the edit as a thing, or you can also delete a record. So you can still change people across depending on where you feel that they would belong the best. Now, as with everything, we also have the next stage of the process, which is that you can then download your table. of your status at a given time. And this is obviously really useful, because when you then get an Excel record, then you can track also your submissions. And what we're doing here is that we're also at the moment designing the support tool for the 9box, which is it's for us it's a dashboard-like tool, with which we tend to give the organization an opportunity to look at all of the teams and the larger enterprise as one, and analyze what it means and what the capability is. So it's kind of like the next stage. If you are more of a like a corporate body, you will want to know some more details about your workforce. But that's essentially it. If you contact us and you would want this, you can purchase your license, and we will give you the admin, and so it can be for many teams, or it can be for one, or whichever way you feel is suitable. We support the process. We can teach the organization how to optimize the 9box use as well. So it's all up to you to just tell us what kind of needs you've got. The tool can be found on the HICCS.fi site, and follow the links and so on, and get in touch with us, because we would be really keen to see more organizations make use of this, because it is really useful. But unfortunately, maybe quite often we tend to not get the most out of the 9box, because it is maybe an Excel based or something like this, and it makes it quite, in the end, people say it's a bit laboursome to use. So hopefully this version will resolve some of those problems. Okay, that's it for me. We'll speak again.